I remember the last memory I had with my dad. It was actually the most carefree memory I had about him, and it was the night before he went on a trip, and we all, myself, Afam, and Ify, we just jumped up and down in bed, jumped on him, and we just hung out and we played, and it was dark, and we played almost forgetting to eat until it was time to go to bed, and that was the last memory I had about him.
I remember Dad pretty well because I was Daddy's girl. I don't think I remembered much of anyone really except my father growing up. One time I was acting out during lunchtime and he gave me this look. All he did not say a word, didn't yell, didn't punish me. He just gave me a look like, cut that out, and I burst into tears. And then he took me out for ice cream. So that's one memory I have, like whatever I wanted really, Dad would give, and I just definitely was attached to him as much as I could when he was in town.
September 26th, I think that's pretty much the big day. That's what started this whole process. It's funny because I don't remember a lot of things before that actual date, but I remember that day. Watching the news as a kid in Jos, and just knowing there's something wrong.
I was about 2, maybe 3 years old when my father passed away, so I didn't have much memory of him, I should say. One thing I do remember though is when we moved here. At first I remember we're supposed to get comfortable being in this completely different environment, but I was young, so, just gotta flow with the punches, and I was with my siblings, at least, and my mother, so that was enough for me.
I remember very well that cold, breezy morning in early September. That morning when the military vehicle pulled up in front of the house to take my late husband to the base where they were having a course, and the boys came out with me to see him out to the front of the house. He quietly went over to the bed where the girls were laying asleep, trying not to wake them up, and just give them both of them a kiss on the cheek, and then we went out to the front door. And we talked for a while, and the boys, we got a group hug, and we said goodbye to him. And not knowing that was going to be the last time that we ever set our eyes on him.
On the day of the plane crash, I remember just laying with I was laying in the living room with I remember laying on the couch.
My mom runs in from the bathroom in a robe and a radio she listens to. She'd heard the news that the plane had crashed.
So she started panicking, and I remember everybody out of the room came out of the room and came in the living room.
And I remember my mom breaking down, and there was kind of chaos for a while, but I still didn't really understand what was going on.
When Mom and it was just fixated pretty much on the TV with the news talking about a crash that happened. So I wasn't quite sure exactly, fully comprehending what happened, but that was the day that pretty much changed our lives. Probably one of the most significant days of our lives.
So it took me a long time. Every time that someone was at the door for weeks, I would run to it thinking like, oh, it was just a big misunderstanding. I just didn't understand that he wasn't coming back.
And the news came on that there had been a plane crash. I was just getting up, so I didn't quite hear what the news said. And I went into a panic. I said, what are they talking about? Apparently there had been a plane crash that morning. And I ran over to the neighbor's house. Unfortunately, nothing came on for the rest of the night. I could not wait. The phones were not working. It's not like now that they have mobile phones all over. And there was nobody to get to. So it was one hell of a night.
After the whole tragedy, we just kept living in Nigeria for a few years, and God made a way because things were getting harder. As the year goes, things were just really getting harder.
Our life drastically changed. Well, it had to drastically it had drastically changed. We moved from the city we were living in back to Lagos, and here we moved into this 4-bedroom house, and there were tons of family living in the house, and they just came to support. You know, it was a 4-bedroom house full of, I'd say, like 16 people.
We moved to Arizona into the Yoha's house, and that was definitely another huge transition from being in my uncle's apartment to a bigger house with 3 other girls, a father and a mother, and just trying to, you know, find our way in there, trying to, you know, figure out where we belong and stuff. And I was just so glad I had my siblings with me and my mother, of course, because that made the journey so much easier.
So really drastic and profound impact on our lives individually and as a family unit, the death of our father. But it's certainly, God's been incredible in the way he uses it to draw us closer to him and reveal things about himself as father, as God, as provider, as protector.
God had blessed us with the opportunity to get out, to have a normal life, and some widows and orphans don't have, or some widows and fatherless children don't have that opportunity to have a normal life, and not a struggle to put food on the table or to even go to school.
Seeing people around us that were in the same situation but weren't able, you know, they didn't have the opportunity like us. They didn't have an uncle already in the U.S. that, you know, randomly says, hey, I'm going to put your name in the lottery, or they didn't have people, you know, there in the U.S. to be able to take them in and kind of, you know, and they take us in and you know, guide us and get us and put us on our feet again.
It's made us see where God has brought us from, just seeing how much passion my mom has for this foundation. It seems so big, but God is faithful to make it happen.
God has pulled us out of this, so what can we turn around and bless other people with? So that's the goal of the Refuge Foundation. I am excited to see what God is going to do through it.
The Refuge Foundation aims at helping such ones to know that God is faithful. He has said it, that he's the husband of the widow and the father of the fatherless, and that if you put your trust in him, he is surely going to fulfill his promise. They can be helped to know that all you have to do is be a Ruth. Work hard, don't be lazy, take care of your children. Whatever situation that you find yourself, ask for direction, wisdom. But sometimes we need people to guide them. We need people to guide them. And that's what we are trying to do through the Refuge Foundation.
The Refuge Foundation
is an international
And faith-based.
nonprofit organization
Working to support,
protect
And provide.
for widows
and the fatherless in distress
through our communities.
in Nigeria.
We're asking you. We are not claiming that we're going to help the whole world. But we know that there are few people out there that God has assigned us to help. Are you going to join us? Will it be a hand? God's helping hand to reach out to these helpless ones, to give voice to the voiceless. Please help us.